Hey y'all, I'm Nate. Welcome to Nate Games. Today, we're gonna look at three sci-fi tabletop role-playing games. These are my three probably favorite out there right now. And two of them are probably the most popular right now, not counting 5th edition games. Now, these are games that I like because they're not fantasy in space. That is, there's nothing wrong with Starfinder, but it is Pathfinder in space. And if you want to play that, that's great, but that's not the kind of sci-fi game I want. So, a 5th edition game that would be equivalent, something I might be not inclined to play is like Esper Genesis. To me, that feels like fantasy that's just sci-fi'd. I know a lot of people like it. In fact, I've even backed a Kickstarter for one of the adventures because it sounded pretty cool, and it's 5th edition, so it can be used across the board. But today we're going to look at the stuff that I can palette a little better. Now, these are our straight sci-fi games. First, we're going to look at Traveler. All right. Traveler is a 2d6 system, so that means your attributes are in 2d6. Your classes, it doesn't really have classes. Your skills, your 2d6 skills define your character. The combat is skill-based. So if you have, a guy that's good in melee weapons, well, he's going to be good at melee fighting. If you have a guy that's good at shooting laser rifles, well, he's going to be good at shooting laser rifles. That's your skill. The world is the golden age of sci-fi, of human space travel. That is to say, the system equivalent to this would be Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition or Pathfinder, because Mongoose for this edition has created a book for everything. If you want a book for robots, there's a book for robots. If you want a book on vehicles, there's a book on vehicles. If you want a book on military campaigns, there's a book on that. You want to be space miners, there's a book on that. Traveler is a great system just because of all the books that are out there for it. And it's 2d6, it's pretty easy to learn. So, next, like I said, golden age of human space travel. Moving on to our next book, the very popular Stars Without Number by Kevin Crawford. Now, this is a 3d6 system for your attributes, because you use a d20 for your combat. It has limited classes, like all of your Without Number games, Stars Without Number, Worlds Without Number, Cities Without Number. Although I haven't gotten Cities Without Number yet. It's coming, Drive Through RPG, hurry up. The two that I do have, they basically have the same kind of classes, the same way to do half classes. In the latter half of the book, there is more advanced classes and things like that. Skills are all 2d6, going back to the way Traveler does it, where your bonuses are basically 1s and 2s, and if you're lucky, a 3. That allows your target numbers, your difficulty classes to be a little bit higher. Let's see. Combat in this one is d20 based, like I said. The world. This one is basically after the fall of the Golden Age. So this comes first, then comes this one, or is it this way? However, the system that's would be equivalent to this would be like a Dungeon Crawl Classics, a Mutant Crawl Classics, where it's thousands of years after the height of civilization, and the world has decayed and crumbled, and the galaxy has decayed and crumbled, and space travel is being refound out by certain civilizations, and certain civilizations never lost it, and although not technically canon together, they work really well if you want to play a campaign that spans millennia. There's that. So the last book we're going to look at today is Lance by Christopher Clark and James Ward. So I actually know both of those guys. I go to Gary Con with them. Lance is a point buy system, wherein you buy your attributes 3 to 18, so they fit within the D20 kind of paradigm, although you don't really use the D20 so much in this system. You don't really have classes. You have like a prime discipline that your skills kind of follow. So if you want to be a medic, the skills that you can kind of take are basically medic focused. You can take skills outside of that, of course, but you're more inclined to take these medic skills. The skills are percentile based. So he has basically a Call of Cthulhu type way of doing it, where you multiply the number times 5, and that's how you get your percentile based out of it. You know, a 20 times 5 is 100. I don't know if y'all knew that. It's a really easy mechanic for game building. Like I said, combat is skill based. Once again, if you're good at shooting laser rifles, then your laser rifle skill will be high in percents. The world. So this presents sci-fi in a pretty hard way. This is like mankind's first steps into the solar system and the galaxy. In this book, you don't have aliens in this book. You don't have a lot of things that those other two books are going to have, because everything in this book has to be scientifically feasible. It has to be plausible, probable. It has to be close to a real thing to be in this book. We can't just have particle accelerator rifles and teleportation belts and things like you can have in here. You can't really have that in here unless there's a scientific reason for it. And that's pretty cool. So this book really stands out from the others, especially in the different sections of how to build like your spaceship and things like that. Like I said, the system equivalent to this would probably be Call of Cthulhu, and just because of the way they do the skills, and it's not Call of Cthulhu, but it reminds me a lot of Call of Cthulhu. So yeah, thanks for listening. That was our basic review of my favorite 3 sci-fi tabletop role-playing games. Thanks.